Yo, real quick, picture this. You're one of the smartest guys in the room. Like, literally one of the smartest guys on the planet. You spent 12 years training your mind and your hands to do something most humans can't even dream about. You crack open skulls and fix the most complex machine in the known universe, the human brain. You're that guy. But here's the cold water nobody throws in your face. Being a genius in the OR doesn't mean you got game in the dining room. Academic intelligence and emotional intelligence? Brother, those are two completely different sports. And you can be a world-class athlete in one and a total rookie in the other. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Harold, and this is The Hidden Code. We don't do sugarcoating, we don't do therapy fluff. We do raw, real street-level psychology, the kind that actually works when you're sitting across from a woman who's playing a game you don't even know you're in. Today's story, it's heavy. It's ugly, and it ends with a $12 million lesson that most men will never learn, because they'll never hear it. So lock in, because what I'm about to tell you could literally save your life. Let's talk about our guy. We'll call him the surgeon. 22 years old, fresh Harvard grad, about to start medical school. Dude is on top of the world, or at least he thinks he is, and then he meets her. Now look, we've all been there. That first real hit. That first woman who looks at you like you're the whole solar system. That oxytocin rush is no joke, bro. It rewires your brain faster than anything they taught him at Harvard. And for him, it hit different. Because she told him she was a virgin. And he was one. So now there's this massive emotional weight. This feeling like he owes her everything because they built something pure together. But here's where I need you to slow down and really listen. Because right from jump, the red flags weren't just waving. They were on fire, with sirens. Her father? Currently sitting in a federal prison cell for bank fraud. Now, I'm not saying you judge a woman entirely by her parents, but let's be real with each other. If a girl grew up in a house where lying to people's faces and committing federal crimes was Tuesday, that's her factory setting. That's what normal looks like to her. But the surgeon? He's a fixer. It's literally in his DNA. He saw her trauma, her broken background, her daddy issues, and thought, I can operate on this. I can fix her. And that, brother, is mistake number one. 1 month in, she pushes hard for them to sleep together. Then almost the next morning, she demands marriage. Why? Because he took her virginity. She weaponized his morality. She used his goodness as a lever. And then, right before the wedding, he finds out she'd actually been with at least 4 other guys. The whole virgin story? Fiction. A complete fabrication. Any man who dated around, who had options, who had experience, he walks. Puree. But the surgeon? He felt locked in. He'd already cast himself as the hero in her story. He believed that if he just loved her harder, provided more, stayed noble enough, she'd transform. She didn't. Because you cannot love someone into a new personality. And you can't fix a person who sees your kindness as a vulnerability to exploit. He wasn't walking into a love story. He was walking into a slaughterhouse, thinking it was a sanctuary. Yo, before we go any deeper into how this thing spirals into something you won't believe, have you ever felt that gut instinct screaming at you at the start of a relationship, but you ignored it because the chemistry was too loud? Drop a comment below. Tell your story. The guys in this community need to know they're not alone in this. And if this kind of raw, no-cap breakdown is hitting different for you today, hit that subscribe button right now. We're building something real here. A community of men who are done being played and are ready to actually understand the game. Comment the word awake below if you're starting to see the patterns. So they get married. And the surgeon grinds. He's deep in his residency at Johns Hopkins, which, if you don't know, is basically a psychological meat grinder dressed up as a hospital. 80-hour weeks, pennies for a paycheck, running on caffeine and willpower. And while he's doing that, she lands her first real job as a dermatologist. Suddenly, she's the breadwinner. Now a real partner? A real one? She would have held him down while he was building. She would have said, "Baby, I got us right now. You go become great." That's not what happened. She used that financial position like a weapon. For 3 straight years, she belittled him. made him feel small, used her bigger paycheck to push him into what I call beta status, not by accident, but by design. Imagine this. You just finished a 36-hour shift. You haven't slept. You saved actual human lives today. You come home, and the person who's supposed to be your peace tells you you're not doing enough, that your career doesn't matter, that she's the real one holding things together. That's not a partner. That's a warden. And here's the trap most guys fall into. The surgeon told himself, once I finish residency, once I'm the one bringing home the real money, once I have the title, she'll respect me. Things will change. Status does not fix character, bro. When he finally became the primary breadwinner, the abuse didn't stop. It evolved. You're never around. You don't do enough for me. You're a bad father. The goalposts weren't just moving. They were on wheels. He was living under emotional siege every single day. And he stayed. Not because he was weak, but because he had 2 boys. And he thought, I'll wait until the time is right to leave clean. But while he was waiting, she was plotting. Mid-2013. The surgeon comes home from a long shift. He sits down at the family computer, just a regular dad trying to book Disneyland tickets for his kids. Mickey Mouse. Kuros. Family memories. And then he notices she left her email open. He's not snooping. But when the door is wide open and you can smell the smoke pouring out, you look. He clicks a file. And his entire world doesn't just fall apart. It vaporizes. He finds a collection of explicit videos she made with another man. Not pictures, videos. While he was out there grinding 80-hour weeks, building a $6 million lifestyle, raising their sons, she was living a completely different life behind his back. But here's the part that'll make your head spin. This same woman spent years presenting herself as the most religious, pious, morally upright person in the room. She was the one at school events judging other women's clothing. She was the self-appointed moral police of the whole neighborhood, acting like she was the gold standard of virtue. And she was doing this. That specific brand of betrayal, where the person who's been making you feel like you're not moral enough is living in the gutter behind closed doors. That's a level of psychological warfare most people can't even process. It's like finding out your pastor is running a con operation out of the back of the church. He was done. Or at least, he thought he was. Real talk. If you've ever let someone use their own emotional instability as a leash to keep you locked in a situation you knew was dead, drop the word trap in the comments right now. Your life is not a bargaining chip for someone else's chaos. You cannot set yourself on fire just to keep someone warm, especially when they're the one holding the match. And if you haven't subscribed yet, bro, what are you waiting for? This is the content that changes how you see the world. Hit the button. Join the movement. So he confronts her, says it's over, files for divorce. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't break down in any real humble way. She goes nuclear. Suicide threat. If you leave me, I'll kill myself. And for a man who is literally trained to preserve human life, that is the ultimate hostage situation. He couldn't walk away, so he stayed. 18 more months of pure psychological torture. She even faked a benzo overdose to pull him back in. He moved back into the house. He thought he was being merciful. And during those 18 months, while he was at his absolute lowest, broken down by years of gaslighting and abuse, he signed a post-nuptial agreement that was basically a financial suicide note. $6 million mortgage-free house for a decade. Half the costs of everything. Primary physical custody handed over. Plus another $1 million just to get the kids through high school. He thought he was being the good guy in the exit. He thought generosity would buy him peace. It bought him nothing but more war. The second he walked out that door, she launched phase 2. Parental alienation, turning his own sons against him, spinning stories, rewriting history, painting him as the villain in a story he bled for 2 decades to protect. And then, the legal nuclear strike. She filed claims that he physically assaulted their 16-year-old son, a complete lie, designed to destroy his reputation, his relationship with his boys, and his medical license, all at once. And remember those videos he found? He'd shown them to a female doctor friend, just to prove he wasn't losing his mind. Well, the ex found out and filed criminal revenge porn charges, then used the threat of a public trial to demand $6.5 million in a settlement. She was trying to extort a neurosurgeon for his life savings, using evidence he found of her infidelity. He went to trial. He stood his ground. The case was eventually expunged because her perjury and extortion were too overwhelming to ignore. But the DA told him straight up. In their state, getting a perjury conviction against a woman was virtually impossible regardless of the evidence. She walked clean. And while he was fighting for his freedom, he uncovered the final layer. For 8 years, she'd been in charge of his practice's cash receipts. She stole $800,000 in cash, ran up hundreds of thousands more on the corporate card, designer bags, shoes, first-class international flights for her parents. She wasn't just cheating on him. She was gutting his business from the inside while he was trying to save her. He spent $3 million in attorney fees over 5 years just to stop her from completely erasing him. Before I wrap this up, if this story hit you, if you realize that being the good guy is not a defense strategy and it's not a suit of armor, comment the word shield below. Lock that idea in. You're done walking into slaughterhouses thinking your heart is enough to protect you. And if you're ready to stop being reactive and start building a life that's actually fortified, subscribe right now. This community is growing every single day. Men who are waking up, leveling up, and reclaiming their own narrative. We value truth over comfort, reality over fairy tales. Here's the bottom line, brother. Never marry before 33. Educate yourself on the signs of borderline personality disorder. Seriously, read up on it. Always get a prenup. No exceptions, no but she's different. And never ever ignore your gut in the first 90 days of a relationship. That spidey sense exists for a reason. It was designed to protect you. You're not just a good guy anymore. You're an informed one. Keep your head up. Keep your eyes open. Stay grounded. I'll catch you in the next one. This is Harold, signing off from the Hidden Code,